What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about what a man starts thinking about right before he pulls away and what eventually is the thing that makes him pull away. Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below along with the like button. And if you want to get more information on this type of stuff, such as attracting a man long term, getting him to see you as wife material instead of friends with benefits, and maximizing attraction so he never pulls away, link is down in the description. You can get my ebooks, about 275 pages, explaining my theories on attraction, okay? To maximize it. So, jumping right into this, here's the thing, ladies. I'm going to go over several things that a man is thinking right before he pulls the plug. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but right before he, pulls away. Number one, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with this. You're probably talking to a dude who things are going well one week and then the next, all of a sudden, things change. He's acting different. He's pulling away. He's not investing as much. I want you to know right now that a majority of the time, it at least in his head, it isn't so sudden. A lot of the times, men actually think about it for a week or two before actually pulling away. And the reason for this is, it's it's a dagger in the heart. Like, he knows he is burning the bridge by doing this. And when I say burning the bridge, I don't mean just pulling away from you, but understanding that he invested resources to get to this point, right? And then when a guy says something like, or even a girl says something to a guy like, hey, I just want to be friends, like, that's pretty much burning the bridge. So when a guy is either pulling away, start acting hot and cold, saying something like, I see you as just a friend, or I don't see it working out, he knows he is taking steps back towards what he was working for in terms of investing his resources and getting it to the point to where it is. So what I'm trying to get at is assets versus liabilities. If he thinks about it for a while, and he knows it's because, well, I'm going to be cutting off the assets, okay? That's why a lot of the times, ladies, you might get a guy who does something like, I call this, I talk about it in a lot of videos, I call it the renegotiation, or the negotiation, where he's going to try to wiggle his advantages first and try to gain advantages before absolutely cutting it off. So he'll say something like, I like you, I just don't want a relationship, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. I just don't want it right now. Or he'll say something like, I don't want a relationship, but it doesn't mean I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop talking to you. I don't want to lose you. Whatever gives you hope, because I always say hope is the anchor that keeps you at shore. So whatever gives a woman hope, and if you stick around after he says that, hopeful that it will transition into a relationship, then he actually never has to turn anything into a relationship, because he's getting the benefits. He's having his cake and eating it too, without you actually demanding the relationship, because you're in this whatever now, this negotiation, this contract, knowing that he's unsure about it. You're actually just, at least from his perspective, you're just waiting around hoping things change. Guys, you're going to take advantage of that situation, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, okay? So when a guy pulls away, ladies, understand that, well, I guess number two here, it's based on context. This is why I tell women, control the pace. Pacing is everything. Women always ask me, how do I know if a guy really likes me? How do I know if he's love bombing or not? It's the pace. If he's consistently investing in you, his efforts, okay, or resources over time, and it's progressing, meaning it's feeling like it's turning into something more serious, not just hanging out more, but it feels like there's more depth and rapport, and there's more substance and getting to know each other and all that kind of stuff. Those are good signs. But sometimes it moves very fast from either side. A lot of women will come to me and say, well, I'm not the one who moved it so fast. This was all him, Elliot. This was all him. And while that might be true, and most of the time it is, he doesn't realize he's biting off more than he can chew. You got to understand, when a guy's moving that fast, there is a reason. And it could be because I really like a girl, but it doesn't mean he's emotionally available. A lot of guys can like you, but not give you a relationship. A relationship is a lifestyle. It takes sacrifice, commitment, consistency, selflessness. He's taken himself off the market for all these other women just to be with you. And while that idea might sound nice, again, the more context that builds up, which is, the frequency, the consistency, hooking up, the things he's probably telling you, the cuddling, the future talk, the pace, all these type of things, it gets to the point where he's like, oh man, I bit off more than I can chew. Can I do this or not? If he can, he's going to continue. If he doesn't, it goes back to what I previously said. This guy's in his head, he's thinking about it for a while. He's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I like her, but I don't want to cut it off. But eventually, they always cut it off if they're emotionally unavailable. Unless you lower your standards and become super hopeful and stick around for whatever reason. Yeah, but he's going to cut it off. Why? Because it gets to the point where he feels like he's leading you on. Like, no woman in her right mind, I say this, but half of you do this anyway. All my clients do this until they come to me. So many women become so hopeful and they lower their standards in hopes that a guy commits, but then he never does. Because no woman in her right mind will stick around, unless she's wanting something casual, that's fine. But no woman in her right mind would stick around and let a guy get all these advantages for month after month, whatever, and a relationship not come out of that. He knows that. So eventually he gets the feeling, especially when it starts feeling lovey-dovey and you guys get along really well, it gets to the point where he's like, okay, I'm leading her on because I know, or he assumes at least, she's wanting a relationship, right? So that happens, and then he eventually resents you, even though it's not your fault. He eventually resents you because he's sticking around with this, and he said, I'm not wanting XYZ. You're like, okay, fine, that's cool, sure, whatever. But then you stick around, and he feels the hopefulness on your side, and eventually a man pulls away. So just to sum this up, ladies, a man does think about it for a while before actually pulling away. And if he didn't, it's usually the context. It's moving too fast. He gets in his head and freaks the F out. But like I said, when he freaks out, he's weighing the pros and cons. Like, I like these advantages. I like these assets, but I'm not sure if it's worth the cost, which is the relationship, which means the guy is going to try to negotiate. He has to negotiate a lot, unless he's just like, this is too much. Sometimes he negotiates, though, because it's more beneficial for him to do that if he's investing his resources into you. There's no point investing my resources into a woman to only pull away, weeks later, a month later, to start back to square one, okay? So, with that being said, ladies, I love you all. If you want to avoid all these type of things, get my book. Link is down below. Take care and peace.